Election Commission answered my questions. The biggest anti-national act you can do is vote chori. There is no bigger anti-national act that you can do than vote chori. Also tell us, what is the architecture of the EVM? Give us access to the EVM. Yes. Let our experts go and see what is inside the EVM. Yes. Till today, we have not had access to the EVM. Electoral reform is very simple. The point is, nobody wants to do it. The government doesn't want to do it.
उसके बाद भी आप आधार को नहीं मान रहे, इसका मतलब ये एसआईआर नहीं है, ये अंदर ही अंदर एनआरसी वाला काम कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि हमने उत्तर प्रदेश में सुना है कि वहाँ के मुख्यमंत्री जी कह रहे हैं कि हम डिटेंशन सेंटर बना रहे हैं।
And joining us now on the show, we have Mr. N. Gopalaswami, former Chief Election Commissioner of India. Sir, thanks very much for speaking to us, because at a time when the entire electoral process has been brought into question, we are discussing it in our Parliament of India. I want to start by asking you the question that is on everyone's mind today. In your opinion, right now in 2025, is the Election Commission and the process of conducting elections in our country compromised? Has there been an institutional takeover? Is that even possible?
I don't think. I straight away can say that this is very absurd to say that. It's Election Commission taking over the entire thing is, I think, a figment of somebody's imagination. I don't think it is correct, or it can never happen either.
Should the Chief Justice of India be included so that there is a greater divergence of views? Right now, the argument is that this is largely one-sided. The decision is guided by what the government wants at that time, the government of the time.
See, for last over 70 years or more than that, it was only the Prime Minister. Okay. Now it has been expanded. Yes, the government has the one side has a higher say, in the sense that you have two members as against the LOP is one member in the opposition. I don't think it's a good idea to have the judiciary involved in this, for the simple reason that if any question arises in future about an appointment, it'll be pretty embarrassing for somebody who goes to the court to say that your lord, your honorable self was also a member and you did this election. I don't think it is. Will be a very unfortunate thing. And it's not that this has not happened. In CBI selection, at some point in time when there was a allegation against or question against one of the selected persons, in that selection committee, earlier when the selection actually took place, there was a member of the judiciary. So it's better avoided to have anybody from the judiciary into this committee. It's, in my view, it will create terrible embarrassment in future.
If not the Chief Justice of India, should it at least be more even-handed? Because at a time when already the opposition in our country feels that they are not being heard enough, a lopsided makeup of the committee only reinforces their fear that even the election commissioners, when they will be chosen, will be in essence his master's voice. They will only be reflecting what the government wants. They'll be doing the government's bidding.
Well, this question is of recent origin, if I can say that. I mean, for 70 years, when there was only one person in the commission, from the time of 70 years or about 50 years, till 1990, when only one election commissioner was there, why was this not an issue at all? So ultimately, the question is whether the selected appointees, the appointees in the election commission, how will they turn out to be, or how will they show themselves to be? And by and large, they have been loyal to the constitution. There could have been. I can't say with certainty. There could have been some cases where you felt that they were not very neutral. But that is not the reason why you should change the current methodology unless something extraordinarily bad happens. I don't think that kind of thing ever happened. Yes, there have been comments that they are not neutral, etc., etc. But I don't think on that basis any election has been questioned. I mean, to the credit of the politicians in this country, by and large, they have accepted all the results all through all these 70, 75 years, which only means that the conduct of the election has been free and fair. So I don't think suddenly, you think of something. It requires major repairs. I don't think so.
So the special intensive revision that is now being carried out across 12 states and union territories, do you think the manner in which it is taking place, it is a NRC in disguise, given that there are a number of people who are not of Indian citizenship? We see those images of them, lining up at the India-Bangladesh border, them leaving the country. There is a fear that this is perhaps only step one towards an eventual NRC or an NRC in disguise.
Well, the question is, I'll answer the question in this particular way. See, the Election Commission has to enroll people who are Indian citizens. Okay. So there is this fine, bit of a dichotomy in the sense that Election Commission does not decide the nationality of a person. But at the same time, the responsibility is cast on the Election Commission to enroll only people who are Indian citizens. So it's a very fine thing. Therefore, I find that the Election Commission has walked a very fine line. What they have said in their instruction is that the person has to be an Indian citizen. If there is any suspicion, then you mark it and send it to the concerned authorities. They are not deciding the issue. They are only marking such a person when they suspect something. Of course, you can, any person who has been shown to be or suspected to be or thought to be not an Indian citizen can always show the records. That provision they are giving. But they are not deciding the issue. They are not deciding the issue. They are leaving it to the authorities concerned. So this is a bit of a dichotomy there in the sense that you have to enroll Indian citizen. But unless you ask a question when you suspect somebody's nationality, how do you decide the case? But you are not the final authority. You are not deciding it finally. But you have a suspicion on that. So NRC is totally different. NRC decides your nationality. The authorities under the NRC will take all the records and then decide whether you are an Indian national or not an Indian national. That is not what the Commission is doing. Commission only says that please provide me the information so that I am reasonably satisfied. If there is any doubt on my side, I am referring you to the correct authority. So they are performing their duty within the limits of what is being asked or expected of them. So I don't think there is a need to take umbrage to it.
The reason why I asked that, sir, is because
now let me
yes,
complete.
please.
The fact is that the Citizenship Act which was passed has not been implemented. That is something which the government or the politicians must take the blame for. And now when the Election Commission is asking you for whether you are or you are not, because they are also responsible for taking only those people who are saying, so why is that huge hue and cry being made? If they, yes, I would agree with you, it is not their ambit. If they start deciding whether you are or not, they're not doing that. They're only asking a question. And I can tell you, to be very frank, they ask a question that are you not? Okay, you could afford to bluff, right? If you you are giving an undertaking at the bottom of the application, there is a mention, that you are a citizen, and you sign that. And if you bluff, if you are deliberately concealing the fact that you are not a citizen, They are not coming back to question you. They are taking that and proceeding further. That's the reason why I don't think, despite all the numbers which are being mentioned, in 2004, Parliament was informed that nearly 12 million foreigners are residing, illegal foreigners are residing in India.
Yes.
2016, the Parliament is informed it is 20 million now. And as against that, what is surfacing may not be even a million. So, if the Election Commission is actually going to reside, then you expect at least, if not 20 million, at least 10 million to be questioned. I don't think they are doing it because they are relying on what the statement you are giving, which is a bit of a loophole, but they can't help it. They cannot decide the issue. Therefore, they are only asking you, if you give a false affidavit or false information, it's up to you.
And so the reason I ask this is that this has become the biggest issue being raised right now. Politically, it's become the biggest flashpoint. And especially in states like West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh, it is being said that this whole citizenship issue is being weaponized against the weakest section of society, and in particular minorities who would be susceptible to not having their documents in place.
Look, they are not deciding the issue. I said that. Election Commission is not deciding the issue. If they have suspicion, then they are asking you. You could afford to give a false affidavit, false statement saying that, no, I am an Indian citizen. Okay. If they suspect, then they raise the issue with the authorities concerned. So where is the question of Election Commission weaponizing anything? And, anything you would do in this country, the first red herring which is being submitted is poor, backward, illiterate, and minority. I don't think that is correct. Any foreigner, for that matter, whether minority or majority, any foreigner is a foreigner. Why make a distinction based on foreigner is a foreigner? And if the Election Commission feels that somebody is a foreigner, then they are raising the issue. If they don't have anything to go by, they will incorporate you in the electoral roll. I am quite sure that many have got it.
Okay, if not by intent, then just by sheer speed. Can SIR be a botched up exercise? Given let's take the example of the number of BLOs. Do you think that the time being given for phase 2 of the SIR is too short? What explains the number of suicides, the number of deaths of BLOs that are being recorded?
Madam, see, BLOs, nobody prevented the state authorities from increasing the number of BLOs or giving assistance. For instance, I'll take our own experience in Chennai. The BLO meant for our area came with another person. Okay. So both were helping each other. And afterwards, once the forms were distributed, they were collecting it differently. In the sense that each one went to collect. So nothing prevented, does the Supreme Court have to come in to say that provide additional hands? That could be done by the authorities at the field level. That they failed to do is very unfortunate, but consequently some people fell ill or died. It's very unfortunate. But nothing prevented the field level officers in providing additional assistance.
So then what prevents the Election Commission from extending the deadline? Why can't this be done in 6 months or a year instead of just 3-4 months?
Let me answer this. The moment you relax, finished. That is, for 35 years of bureaucratic experience, I can tell you, you relax, that is the end of the matter. Unless you keep pressure and give a deadline, things will not get done. And you provide additional hands. And after all, in Tamil Nadu, from whatever newspaper reports are coming, they extended by a week, okay, for whatever the problem is. So where there is a problem, where there is a request, and Kerala, for a different reason, they extended it. They would have extended, but you start with 2 months, it will go to 6 months. So, bureaucratic experience teaches you, being that you are relaxed at the beginning, you will be ever relaxed forever.
But there is clearly a problem. What is the way out of this if you've got a trust deficit between the centre and the non-BJP ruled states? Even the Supreme Court had to say that you control the situation, otherwise there's going to be an anarchy. What possibly is the way out?
This is a very loaded question. I don't have an answer for that. The point is, perceptions differ. Perceptions differ. After all, in Bihar, despite all this, problems which are surfaced or taken to the Supreme Court, etc., things were done in time. And the reason is that every political party, despite all the noise which they are making, they did their role effectively. They appointed their BLAs. Now, I will take, this may be an extreme example, but there is an example. I'll let you know. 1 month before the SIR was announced for Tamil Nadu, DMK's cadres had done their SIR. They had come to my house also.
Oh.
So I can vouch for that. They had done their SIR much before even the Election Commission's officially announced it. Okay. So, ये हाथी के दांत जैसे है ना, खाने के और दिखाने के और.
Finally, you think the manner in which the SIR is happening right now, it is one, perfectly legal, because even the legality of the EC to carry out SIR has been questioned. 2, the timelines are practical. And 3, it is not putting unnecessary and impractical pressure on the people and the officials involved.
Yeah, I will go with that. Let me add also here that the political parties have to take responsibility. Now, in Bihar, nearly for the 90,000 odd polling stations, 95 or 96,000 polling stations, 160,000 BLAs, that is, people appointed by the political parties to watch over the procedure and also help. In Tamil Nadu, for about 75,000 polling stations, around 70,000 polling stations, there are 260,000 BLAs. So there is a need for the political parties also to walk the talk. They just cannot sit back and then keep accusing, but actively involve. Yesterday, I saw in Times of India a very interesting article by Mr. Gurumurthy, S. Gurumurthy. He said in his early days as a political activist in the Congress party, they had gone around from house to house. He said at that time there was no concept of BLOs at all, and it is all only BLOs. So, but after some time, the political parties have stopped taking serious interest, accepting wherever their cadres is good, they have been doing it. And Tamil Nadu is one example where both the DMK and ADMK have good cadres. The DMK is better. So they have done their own SIRs.
As you very eloquently put it, sir, हाथी के दांत दिखाने के और खाने के और. Perception and reality are two very different things. But when it comes to the process itself, that should be bulletproof. Mr. Gopalaswami, as always, pleasure speaking to you. Thank you very much for joining us here.